All right, welcome back to Blue by 90. I'm Justin, joined by Tanner today. It is May 20th. I'll be honest, I don't know how we've gotten this far already into the year. It feels like the season ended yesterday, basketball season ended yesterday. But we're here. It's kind of summertime. I mean, it's felt like summer here in Ann Arbor sometimes, and now today it feels like fall. Like it could be a mid-October day. It's like 50 degrees and cloudy.
Yeah, it's been, I think, for the next, I think until Monday, even Memorial Day, I think is not great weather, but until Monday, we're going to have like this kind of 50-ish degree weather, which was a huge tease over the last couple of weeks with like 70-degree days,
Yeah.
grilling, smoking meat, whatever on the patio. And now it is cold and rainy, and it does feel like fall. And I feel like I'm wearing slippers right now, which is ridiculous. So yeah, looking forward to getting out of this little weather pattern we're in and getting back to the warm stuff. But fall, this kind of weather is great when there's football on. There's no football on right
True.
now,
I
unless
know.
it's UFL.
Right. The UFL is on. Shout out to the Michigan Panthers. Shout out to the Detroit Tigers too, balling out. So you're wearing your Tigers hat. I mean,
Yep.
that does help with like missing a lot of other sports in the summertime. If your MLB team is good, that helps a lot.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I know they made the playoffs last year, but this time last year, nobody expected them to make the
We were
playoffs.
supposed
And
to be
then
the worst team in baseball at this time last year, and I think we were the worst team in baseball
at one point, yeah. And also, I think it was funny too. A lot of people were like, "Oh, the Tigers can't repeat their 31-13 finish to the season." Well, they just started 31-16, so not quite. But yeah, the Tigers have been great. The Pistons got knocked out. Feels good to like hate the Knicks as well. I've never really hated them, so that's a nice change of pace for me, personally. So yeah, a lot of fun with Detroit teams. Obviously, basketball season ended a couple of months ago for Michigan. Softball team won the Big Ten tournament. Unfortunately fell to Texas and UCF. But like a lot of good stuff going on. But this is kind of that little after the NHL and NBA playoffs. You're just kind of like, all right, Thankfully, get college football again, so that'll be cool. But like, it's like, damn, I'm just ready for football.
No spring games anymore, right? Like even recruiting is kind of dead. Like this is the time when Michigan players are actually like off campus. They get pretty much Michigan football gives pretty much the month of May off to their guys, which is nice. And then they get back to summer workouts. Before we get into anything, though, I do need to give a huge shout out to our brand new title sponsor of the podcast. We are now Blue by 90, presented by Feldman Chevrolet of Highland. They have hooked a lot of our student athletes up, whether it's basketball players, football players. Bryce Underwood, they helped us put together that the thing we did for him with giving back the car to his high school mentor and the Bryce Gives Back campaign. And so they've been amazing to work with. Go check them out, please. They give out awesome deals. Honestly, like, you go to a lot of dealers out there and it is, you just know walking in, you're like, all right, I'm about to spend $5,000. I'm going to get work done, getting upsold and all that. They really don't do that. They try to help you out and get you into the best kind of car they have. They've also got a pre-owned lot. So, obviously heavy on the Chevys. Wow, I didn't even mean to do that little rhyme there, but
nice.
But you can get some pre-owned options there too. So Feldman Chevrolet of Highland, go take a look on their website right now. And if you're in the area, go head over there. But want to give them a huge shout out, huge appreciation for them.
Well, and real quick, just pulling up the website. I mean, they've got some phenomenal lease deals going on. I can tell you, I'm a guy with a Ram 1500. I told Justin pre-show my next truck I think is going to be a Silverado, and if I go that route, definitely going to be going over to Feldman of Highland because they've got some great stuff on the website and I'm sure on the lot too. It's about what 35 minutes from Ann Arbor.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad. And yeah, they're in a good spot, and they're also just like the whole squad, huge Michigan fans, huge Michigan people. I'll tell a little funny story before we get into our updates here. I had brought in Donovan McCulley. We're getting him into a new car from Feldman, so they were hooking him up. And meanwhile, one of their employees comes up to me and shakes my hand and says, "Hey, congrats on getting drafted, man." And I was like, hey, I'm not Colston Loveland, but thank you. I appreciate that. So, hey, they're really good dudes, but that was a pretty big ego boost as I'm standing next to 6'5" Donovan McCulley. And it's like, yeah, I guess I could, I have a little bit of the stature of an NFL athlete, but don't ask me to like run, a route because I'm not going to do Colston justice here.
You're not getting in and out of breaks like that, are you?
No, I'm not at 32 years old.
Hey, I get that sometimes. It's a great ego boost. I mean, I've got it a few times, which thank you. To those random strangers.
Trevor Keegan. You are Trevor Keegan.
Well, without the money and the signing bonus and the active NFL roster spot, yeah, for sure.
Other than that, I mean, it's basically the
Big
same.
Ten championships, national championship. I don't have any of those things.
So. Yeah, I was texting back and forth with Trev the other day. Actually, good to hear that he's doing well. He's ready to like get back on the field this year because he was injured for a lot of last season. So shout out to Trev, good dude, great dude. All right, let's get to the news here. Michigan just today landed a 4-star tight end, Matt Ludwig, out of Montana. What better to get a big boy tight end out of Big Sky Country?
It's been nice to us. It's been kind to us. And if you recall, the guy that plays at Oregon, I'm not sure if he was in the draft or not, if he's still at Oregon, but Kenyon Sadiq, he had a couple touchdowns against Penn State for Oregon in the Big Ten Championship. He's a guy that Michigan was heavily in on from the state of Idaho, I believe, as well. So they've really kind of targeted that area. A lot of really great athletes that come out of that region, the Big Sky, Idaho, Montana. Maybe the Dakotas are in there. I don't know exactly what we're considering the Big Sky region, but man, I'll tell you what, he's top 100 on three. He's top 250 to 247. I haven't looked at the other services, but on three's got him as the 5th best tight end in his class. I went to his huddle. I typically don't watch guys film until they commit or, kind of like a lock or like maybe a crystal ball coming in. First play was just a go route that he burned a DB on. And then there were 2 guys kind of further back and he caught on the sideline, cut in and just outran him to the end zone for like a 70-yard bomb. And then the next 2 plays were just like toe tap Moss type touchdowns. I just turned it off. I was like, cool.
That's all I needed to see.
I'm good. I lied. I actually did watch a couple more plays, but he had a H-back where he went in motion and just kind of looked like Max Bredesen on a kid. Now, so Montana football. Yeah, Montana football, but obviously it translated with Colston Loveland. So he's 6'4", like 250, according to recruiting services. So I mean, it looks like a dog.
Can we talk about how built that is for a senior in high school? Like, that's crazy.
And he's like, his recruiting picture on like 247, he's a baby face. So like, he's probably just got a ton of room to grow. Yeah. Good athlete. Yeah. I mean, everybody, was in on him. Georgia was in on him. I think Notre Dame, like when you see those 2 schools specifically, I'm sure Penn State was in there too. I don't know what their recruiting class looks like for tight ends, but anytime you see kind of those schools, and obviously Michigan had him as their number 1 target, that tells you something about a tight end. So pretty stoked on this pickup. Going to be a big part of the offense, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was texting with Bryce Marich from 247 and the Michigan Insider today on him. He said, one of my favorite prospects, he's a beast. And so Bryce also is not a guy who's going to like hype up somebody that he doesn't really think is worth it. So for him to say that says a lot. And Bryce isn't wrong very often, if ever. So I think, if history can repeat itself with Matt Ludwig, I'd be pretty pumped about that to replace Colston Loveland and the guys that we've got right now. Marlon Klein, Hogan Hansen, Prescorn, a lot of these guys. So I'm
excited. The 24 tight end class. I mean, I thought Brady Prescorn was going to be that guy. He didn't play as much. He got hurt, so hopefully he's going to be okay. But Hogan Hansen, obviously in the Ohio State game, made some huge plays. Marlon Klein had probably his best game against Ohio State, right? Yeah. So that's something with competent passing offense.
Did we win that game?
There's no way that was the 4th in a row, was it?
Well, all I really remember is before the game, I thought we were like 20+ point underdogs. So I just assumed I don't even think I watched it. I just assumed that we lost, but there's no way we could.
I don't know. I think that particular fan base is like forgotten about that. I don't know. I don't think they care about the game as much as Michigan does.
No, it's a scrimmage in November, is what I've been told multiple times on Twitter/X.
Can I just say, I don't know if anybody follows Go Bean. He's kind of been a staple in Michigan Twitter forever. There was an Ohio State fan who was like bragging about the Natty and saying that the game doesn't matter, and Go Bean pulled up a tweet from the guy that said, "I'd rather hang 100 on Michigan than win the Natty," like 3 months previously. So
just literally like the most immediate receipt that you could possibly pull.
Yeah. So hey, congrats on the national championship. But some teams win all their games. It's not super common.
No, actually, it's way more uncommon than it is common. But I personally, if I was going to win a national title, I would want to beat my rivals, win a Big Ten championship, and win a national championship rather than not even getting to go to Indy. Because they actually, honestly, I feel bad for Buckeye fans because they probably forgot where Indy is, like on the map and stuff.
They haven't been to St. Elmo's. They haven't had the shrimp cocktail.
No.
So with the cocktail sauce. So they're just missing out, man. That seems like a good segue though, because this is something that Ohio State fans care deeply about, which is Michigan's impending hammer coming from the NCAA, the organization that literally has no power and has lost every lawsuit in court for the last however many years.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very excited about Michigan getting the death penalty coming up here soon.
The death penalty.
They might not even have a program anymore. We may just have to watch the Lions. That's all we'll have.
We'll have to become Eastern Michigan fans or something here. Yeah, I mean, it's been so. In all transparency, right? Not transparency, but in all honesty, Sherrone Moore Michigan went ahead with like a self-inflicted 2-game suspension prior to the NCAA. Their whole ruling coming out, I believe it's June 6th and 7th. Does that sound right?
Yeah, a few weeks here.
So we've got a few weeks for that. This is basically exactly what they did in the Jim Harbaugh suspension last year. Was they came out, did a couple, it ended up being more than that. Probably, there's a good chance that happens with this one as well. I think this is not shocking to me in the least bit because you knew something like this was coming. But to your point, there are a lot of people out there that are like thinking that this is just the tip of the iceberg,
right,
and not the whole thing.
I'm sure there'll be fines and maybe a couple scholarships or like reduction in spring practice time or something stupid. But I think anybody that's really kind of holding out hope that Michigan's just going to be nuked as a program. Yeah. Like I saw a tweet yesterday that somebody was insinuating that the athletic department knew about this scheme. And what was it? Vast network. That's what it was. Vast network of spies. But that like went all the way up to Santa Ono, and that's why he went to the University of Florida, completely ignoring all of the politics that presidents of public universities are having to deal with right now.
Right. There's not more going on in the world than just the other thing too is I think the funniest part is people just not realizing that like they're like Michigan's football program is literally like 1% of what a president at the university has to deal with. Like they have literally one of the biggest hospital networks in the world.
Phenomenal,
let alone what's that?
Phenomenal. That's where Emory was born.
Phenomenal.
Amazing people over there.
And also one of the biggest universities, top public universities out there, right?
Huge research department. Like there's a lot that's going on with the University of Michigan that, to your point, has, let alone football, has nothing to do with athletics at all.
This goes back to one of my favorite memes coming from the original Stallion stuff coming out was Harbaugh handing the Pope the shoes. It was like, how high does it go?
Hey, now we have an American Pope. Now we have is anybody connecting the dots? He went to Villanova for his master's. Perhaps Michigan played Villanova in the championship game. Like how deep does this network really go?
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson played against the Detroit Pistons. Detroit's in Michigan. Like Jalen Brunson went to Villanova. So did Josh Hart. Dante DiVincenzo did too, but then he got traded for Cat Like, where are we at? Like, this is just mind-blowing stuff, man. I feel like
you start connecting the dots, it gets really scary to think about.
It really is like It's Always Sunny, like that gif, like that's literally every rival fan. And there are fans from other fan bases who think it's the worst thing in the world. I still like football is such a game of execution, and it's not Madden. Like, you cannot, like, when teams are making changes at the line on offense or on, if they're changing up their coverage on defense or whatever, like you can't have Connor Stallions being like, oh, hey, like this, like, it's just not how it works, man. So these people, it's crazy. The suspension though is hilarious because it's just games 3 and 4. So like Nebraska fans are pissed about it.
3 and 4. And Nebraska fans are pissed because they feel slighted that we don't like care that much about that game. Oklahoma,
which is a hilarious move, by the way. Like,
that's so funny. And I mean, shout out Taylor Lewan and Will Compton with Busting with the Boys too. I think that's a hilarious dynamic with them of like Will making that game probably like the biggest game on the schedule, and then Michigan / Taylor being like, we don't even care. We're not even bringing our head coach to that one, actually.
I just have to say, I went to the game in Lincoln in 2023, and that was the infamous 4 quarters of FU football video. And then it was 28-0 at the start of the second, and like 3 minutes in, and Will Compton's out on the gator with the t-shirt cannon on the like bed of it, like shooting out t-shirts to like it was already like maybe 60% full at that point of like him just having to come out and just shoot out the t-shirts to just an ejected stadium. Good. It's tough for them. The Bussin' Bowl has just not gone well for them.
Not gone well. And listen, they've got Raiola / Patrick Mahomes Jr. now. I think that I like Rule, I think, except for him being like kind of a weasel about all this stuff. Like,
yeah, he's been weird, man. Like, again, the one time when he's like, did Michigan know what the play was? And it was a defender that got hurt. And it's like, Matt, just like, watch the film. I went back and found the tape like on the game on YouTube. And it's like,
also, can somebody help him out in that instance of like, at least give him a correct play to point to there? Like,
yeah,
you can point to hundreds of plays throughout the year that like
did this pulling guard know where to go? Like, yeah, Matt, that's the play call.
Right. All right. Anyways, so I don't know. We'll see exactly what happens. I think that, my guess is at the most, it's another 1 to 2 games that the NCAA comes in with. It's the first 4 or something like that, or I don't know what it'll be. And then I'm sure there's fines. I'm sure there's recruiting sanctions that go with it.
Well, they already were off the recruiting trail for like a month.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that was Burgergate though.
But there's just too many scandals to be. I mean, it's just we're one of the worst universities to ever exist. So.
Well, I mean, Sherrone deleted the text, right? But there was nothing incriminating in them, and they still recovered them. Like, I don't understand how that is an issue. I get it from an optics perspective, but
from an optics perspective, it sucks for sure. But I think that in general, like, you put yourself in the situation. It's like at the time, like, it was the biggest media story of anything, right? Like, going insane, and people are like freaking out. He's the OC at the time. He's probably just he's like, it's like cover your ass a little bit, like, all right, let's just get rid of this shit. Like, I've got
Did some of those texts leak too? And it was just like, super, like, he's like, I got something for him. That was it. Like, Sherrone never replied.
Game plan, which his job, Connor Stallion's job at the time, was to provide information on game plans. Like, go take a look at film and do all this. So, like, he definitely, nothing of what he said is saying like he knew or nothing. That was texted.
If only we had seen Michigan and Ohio State play recently without Connor Stallions on the side. I mean, I just don't know what would have happened.
I honestly, that's probably going to be a tweet that I rifle off here soon, because I can't stand these freaking Buckeyes that are going nuts of like, all right, if you want to point to 2021 and 2022 for the signs, sure. What's your excuse for the past 2?
Oh, well, here's what I'd say to that. In 2021, like, Michigan ran the ball however many straight times. I mean, I think they had 2 passes in the second half, and Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum just I mean, it's not that hard. And then in 2022, Ohio State said they switched their signs before the Michigan game.
They literally said that.
So I don't know. Like my favorite thing was Cade Stover. Still, like this guy's still talking about it. But he before, I think it was before the NFL season last year, he was talking about how they had something that they had never shown. And then Michigan like correctly identified it because it was like an orbit screen. And honestly, as somebody who doesn't know football at a high level like that, when you see a slot guy come in and then orbit back, I always think it's going to be like a bubble screen dump off to whatever side, right? And like Michigan correctly, like they blew it up for like a 1 yard gain. And he's like, we never showed it. And it's like, okay, so now are you with Buckeye Scoop and insinuating that Michigan hacked practice footage? Is that where we're at with this?
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, hey, look, get your money, get your Twitter blue stuff, do what you got to do. I think it's pathetic. I know I'm biased on this matter, but the amount of people that they've spent almost 2 years, Justin, this is their entire identity, right? That's it.
It's it. I do want to give a shout out to a very select few that are vocal about it on Twitter from a Buckeye perspective. I would bet there are a lot of Buckeyes that are non-vocal about this and have this same opinion, that they're just like, can we move on?
Yeah, I've seen a few of that too.
I've seen a few of them. So I want to give, I know we're identifying the bad apples, but want to give a shout out to the good ones, because there are a few that are like, dude, this has been 2 years. Yes, we lost that game, but we won the Natty. Like, can we get over it and move on? It's, there's a whole new coach in place for Michigan, right? Like, it's a whole new squad. And just, if you're still going to, Buckeye Scoop is a whole different, that's a whole different topic, because that's, probably just psychopathic behavior. But I think that in general, I think there probably are more than you think Buckeyes out there that are like, you know what? It is what it is. Yes, they probably are going to bitch about it and here and there for the rest of their lives, but let's move past it. So,
and here's the other thing too on that, like, it's hilarious because it's now been 3 defensive coordinators that have had a lot of success against Ohio State's offense, right? It was Mike McDonald, who was maybe the best defensive coordinator in the NFL with the Ravens before he went to the Seahawks, and they just went 10-7, missed the playoffs, but like first year head coach going 10-7, pretty impressive. Yeah. And then Jesse Minter, like that Chargers defense was awful. You watched the Lions Chargers game. Remember, it was just like neither team could stop each other. That Chargers defense was brutal. And that was a huge turnaround. And then Wink Martindale comes in and holds the greatest college football team of all time that I'm now seeing these people proclaim Ohio State as last year.
Which also, that's like from a talent and roster, like on paper aspect, that is correct.
Which makes it even funnier that Michigan beat them 13-10
with our good friend Davis Warren at quarterback, and even
Foxhole guy.
Even he, I would say, I think would say, like, yeah, man, like I wasn't supposed to ever beat them, playing quarterback, but I fucking did, right? And like they figured it out. It makes it way funnier. It makes it way better, and it makes the impending, it just makes the meltdown still in May of 2025 still so freaking good.
I think I see them talk about Michigan more than their national championship. So,
which is, that's 100% fact. That's embarrassing shit. All right, let's move on to Yaxel Lendeborg.
Let's do it because, man, it seems like, so I know we put out an article from somebody that was saying he performed really well, and then I saw something else from someone that he might not have lit it up in the way that NBA teams were hoping, or he was hoping to get like a guarantee in the first round. Do you know when the withdrawal deadline is for the draft?
It's coming up. I'll be honest. I can't tell you right off the top of my head. But I believe it's coming up here either late May or early June. So it's coming in the next week or two. And so I think this is, I agree. I've also seen both reports of one is like, oh my God, he, at first it was like, oh, he started at 20-80 of he was 20% going to stay at Michigan, 80% going to go to league. Then he gets to Michigan, it's 60-40 Michigan. Then he goes to the draft and he's like, oh, this has been eye-opening. I probably want to stick in the draft. Then it's like, yeah, he played really well in the combine. And then it was like, oh, actually, he should just stay. So it's been all over the place. It's the report is definitely like multi-millions of dollars is the offer from Michigan for him to stay to be at Michigan this year, which is, I'll just say that, very impressive for Michigan's NIL to be there for every Michigan NIL hater of the past 4 years, right? Like, let's just say that.
Real quick, Justin, because I don't want to harp on this second subject here, but I want to go back to real quick, and then we'll talk about Yaxel. I was on YouTube Live. I was trying to find a live stream for like maybe some Call of Duty or something. I don't remember what it was, but Buckeye Scoop came up for some reason, and it was talking about Michigan's massive NIL problem. Also, the hammer coming in all caps. But so I guess the NIL is just really bad right now for Michigan to get the number one player in the portal. Obviously, different sport than football, but I think football you'll start to see that recruiting class pick up. So yeah, to your point, NIL not a big issue at Michigan right now. I think this impending house stuff maybe changes the scope for Michigan and how they approach it, but obviously that amount of money going to Yaxel Lendeborg, I think, shows, hey, they're continuing to be strong in that area. So, man, Michigan with him, you look at that roster, Morez Johnson, you really have a 1-2 punch of bigs where Yaxel is a true 4. And like, obviously last year had a lot of success with Danny and Vlad, but I think kind of a more traditional 4-5 combo with a point guard to handle the ball versus it being Danny and also having depth at the guard position, I think is going to be huge. Yeah. So this, I mean, dude, if Yaxel stays and goes to Michigan, like this is a potentially top 5 team in the preseason, at least top 10.
Yeah, and I think they're still going to be okay without him, right? And if he does decide to go to the NBA, I think it just takes them from like, all right, you are, Sweet 16 is probably a good year and like, upper pack of the Big Ten to like actual, like you're a Final Four contender.
Yeah.
Right. He's that good. And so I do think it's a huge decision. I also just want to give a shout out to Dusty May for this of like, dude, even having this guy consider Michigan right now is pretty insane. I mean, if you're anywhere near a top 15 pick in the NBA, like, dude, NBA money is insanity. So you have like, he has to be giving a hell of a pitch right now to even have him like take the visit, commit, and again, he's having this decision not between college and NBA, it's Michigan and NBA, right?
Right.
And that's all he's down to. So shout out to Dusty, of course. And then wanted to take this last topic here, like, again, not to just completely like continue to go on the Ohio State train, but like, I mean, it's just so funny again of, I don't know who started the rumors exactly or what's going on, but people started saying that Bryce is like unhappy with where he's at and is shopping himself around, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, like literally he's posting pictures of himself on vacation in Hawaii. Right. And then he went on Twitter and Instagram and just said like, y'all say anything on social media. So I think we can all, if you were ever worried, which I'm sure most Michigan fans weren't, this was just
Jack was.
Jack
was worried about Bruce Underwood.
Shout out Jack. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're gonna be good. This is just classic like off-season banter here,
bro. It goes back. Like I just don't. I couldn't tell you. I don't think I've ever thought about their 5-star Tavion St. Clair. Like I haven't thought about him once. It's just weird to me.
Not one time.
Like I haven't thought about Julian St. Like I just do not care, man. Like I like my team. I root for Michigan. I love going to the games. I love everything about college football, even with the craziness that's happened over the last 5 years. But I don't know, man. Like some people, I kind of can make being a Michigan fan my identity, but like some people make like hating Michigan their identity. And it's like, do you just not have anything better? There's 2 fan bases that do this more than any others. It's just crazy. Like, how do you have the time in the day? Like, if I always think about like, if this is what you worry about, I want your life, man, because you must have it made in the shade. You got nothing else to worry about.
You got too much time. Like you have
right.
0 other problems in your life. And I think too, like, I mean, it's the video of Bryce, like when he was committed to LSU, talking about Michigan's QB development and stuff, has circulated again lately. And I think, I mean, the best responses that I've seen to that are literally like, this is what you're focusing on in May of the offseason after you just won a national title. You're talking about this kid who's 17, has not stepped foot on an actual playing field during an actual football game for Michigan yet. That's what you're worried about. And the other thing too that I would say is, like, outside of him like talking a little shit to LeBron James about saying like it's over for Ohio State, he hasn't publicly been out there like talking shit to Ohio State at all. So it's hatred that is coming from nowhere.
I mean, again, I couldn't imagine like that being the things that I worry about or like I spend time doing. And, everybody's got a hobby. So, hey, my hobby, I like to golf. I like to play some video games, I like to grill, smoke barbecue. Maybe their hobby is just hopping on Twitter and like, like, I don't know, man. Like I used to be that way, but I was also like a teenager on social media a lot. And now as an adult, I'm just like, whatever. Like I don't post much. I post here and there about the Tigers mostly now. But man, like they're grown adults, like people that I have seen around Twitter for a decade plus, and they were an adult when I was like 18, and like they're still doing the same stuff. And yeah, it's fun to talk trash and do whatever, but like it's a 17-year-old kid, man. Like, yeah, he's under a lot of scrutiny. He's got a lot of money for sure. I know money makes it easy to
literally going to prom. Like right now.
Yeah. Like I know people having money makes it seem like you could just criticize them all you want. But at the end of the day, still a college kid having, figuring life out, figuring out who he is as a person, as a football player. And if there's any Michigan fans that do this stuff to Ohio State recruits and players, and like, yeah, it's weird. I mean, yeah, I probably talk some trash about Jack Sawyer, but I didn't spend my entire life dedicated to it either. Right. So it's just a crazy thing to see. It's like a phenomenon that I see on, I mean, it's not just Bryce Underwood and Ohio State fans or Michigan fans going back and forth. Like it is literally like, bro, I'm going to get off topic here, but like the Met Gala, who gives a shit? What people like? Why was that so important? Like, I don't understand it. Maybe we need to start a podcast talking about like social media being a disease. As a content company, that'd probably be really good for us. But I don't know, man. It's just weird to me, and I think y'all need to get some hobbies, man. Like college football 26 coming out. Go
find something to do. Get outside. It's
the weather sucks right now, but when it warms up, go to the driving range.
It's getting nicer. Get outside.
Go to play. If you don't have clubs, go to Play It Again Sports. You can get yourself a full set for like a couple $100. Go on Craigslist, get you some clubs. You can go to Walmart, get the cheap balls. I just like go do something. Have fun with life. Like literally like touch grass. Like that's what it comes down to.
Anything. All right. Well, we'll end it on that. I'm going to give another shout out. Thank you to Feldman Chevrolet, our title sponsor. We appreciate you all. Go to Feldman Chevrolet of Highland. Check out their website for some of those deals that Tanner touched on, and you can head over there. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we can see our demographics. We know there's a lot of you that watch us that might be in that range of looking at a Corvette. You know what I mean? Ooh, you can throw the golf clubs in the back.
There you go.
See if they got any Corvettes. The C8s are sweet. Every time I see it, I'm like, that's a Ferrari. But it's a Corvette.
That can be their new hobby, is having a Corvette.
Well, I was talking to our Michigan fans that listen to us. They probably are more in a position to buy a Corvette than some other folks. So
there you go. All right. For us, you can follow us at BlueBy90 on Oh no, I blew it. Could you say it? Could you do it off of
No.
All right. For us, you can follow us at BlueBy90 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at BlueBy90 Podcast, and YouTube, and BlueBy90.com. We are presented by Feldman Chevrolet of Highland. We appreciate you. Go Blue.
Go Blue.